Okay, we are in Shmuel Aleph, and I forgot. Please subscribe to this channel and give it a thumbs up. Thank you. Okay. So we're at Shmuel Aleph, and we're finishing chapter 15, and we'll say verse 30 again, and then we'll go to the end. So what happened was Shmuel was telling Shaul that he lost his kingdom, and Shmuel or Shaul, let's go with this simple line here. Shaul grabs Shmuel's coat, rips it by grabbing it. He rips it by accident, and so Shmuel says, just as the garment was ripped, so your kingdom will be ripped away from you. Okay, all because you didn't listen to God and you listened to the people. Fine. So 30. Vayomer chatati. So he said, Shaul says, I sinned. Comes out straight. That's it. I'm done. Which means, Masudas David says, Rosh Limo avki chatati. Even though that I sinned, al kozeh haroihu shataviotcha po. Still is fitting that now you will be with me and you will honor me. Okay, so even though I sinned, still I'm the king. Bottom line. Atah kavdeni, now honor me. Kavdeni, not please honor me. Or honor me now, however you want to do that. Neged zikne ami v'neged Israel, opposite the elders of my people, the elders of Israel. And the opposite Israel. V'shuvimi, and return with me. V'shagaveti l'Hashem Elokecha, and bow down with me or worship with me to Hashem your God. Always interesting when it says that, but okay. I'm sorry. And I will bow down to worship Hashem your God. And why not my God? Why not our God? You can, again, all these questions you can always ask whenever it goes to those phrases. So, the Malbim says, "Vayom chatati." Hikar sheinet. So it's recognized the second time. Came to rufa lechato that there was no malice as it was to a sin. But ulam bikesh hagam shlo yishtachave imi. But or truly is requesting that he also Hagam shalosh imi alofen hanichtel el keshlicha. He's not asking that he should come to worship with him on the matter of receiving slicha vital gzera. Oh, yeah, right. That Alkain. That's why he's saying Al kavdav deni now. Honor me. I'm losing my English here. And then you will return with me, and I will bow down because of the honor. Okay, that's all. We're just going to honor Hashem. That's how he's saying it. And I don't know who JK is, but if you look at the commentary digest in number 30. It says, although I have sinned, please honor me in the presence of the elders, lest the people disgrace me during my lifetime. So I forget who JK is. JK, they give a whole definition here. Whenever the biggest problem is when people give the Rosh Tevot here, unless you're using them. Oh, here's JK. Unless you're constantly using them, you forget who they are. So JK is it's two. I guess he is. Oh no, Kara, Rav Yosef Kara. Okay, Mari Kara. Good friend.
Is there a comment why Shaul comes a second time and basically repeats himself? It's only the second time
the first time he said that I sinned, but why did I sin? Because the people wanted me to do it, so I was following the people. This time he just comes out with chatati. Okay, I sinned. Okay.
Well,
I was wrong.
Trying to qualify it.
I was wrong. So, but the point is, I sinned. But even though I sinned, you need to return with me, otherwise people are going to mock me, right? That's how the Marikra is saying it. Those people disgrace me during my lifetime. So, okay, I sinned. Everybody sins, and I messed up badly. But now, as the king, that's why Rashi says, I think it was Rashi, no, this was David, said, as the king, you know, you have to return with me, right?
So it sounds like since Hashem didn't strike him down, and Shmuel didn't tell him he had to be killed for this violation, but his punishment was that he was the kingship was being ripped away from him. That was even this. You'll be embarrassed in front of everybody. You'll be mocked and whatever it is. But that's your punishment. You can no longer have the mantle.
No, he doesn't do that. What Hashem said was, because you didn't listen to me, you showed that you're not fit to be king, I will take your kingdom away. In other words, it won't be hereditary. Hereditary.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It won't be hereditary. It's not going to go to your children. It's going to give it to somebody else. You, until you die, will be king.
I thought he took the kingship away from him.
No, he can't take. He said, in other words, I'm going to take it away.
Oh, from your line.
From your line. You're the king.
Ah.
You can't replace the king. The king is the king.
But it sounds like
it's on election here.
It sounds like he's really embarrassed about that he's not going to be able to go back, and he says, honor me in the presence of the elders.
Right, because otherwise people are going to say, if you don't come with me, then they're going to say, I'm totally lost, and that's it. So now I need you, because basically you made me this role.
Yeah.
So I need you to honor me. That's why I said here. He says, the Kavdani na, and again, how do you translate na is always the pivotal point here. Is it please honor me, respectful, or honor me now? Honor me now. You have to honor me now. So the English is saying now. He's giving the language of now. Okay. They're both could be the same sort of thing. It's just a matter of the emphasis. What's my emphasis? Is it now? Is it you need to do this now because this is going to make or break my kingdom? It's comparable to the president. When the president, I don't care which president, the president, when the president is on his way out, what they call the lame duck president. Okay, so the lame duck president, everybody says he can't do anything because it's still only he can't do anything because he's lame duck. But the bottom line is the lame duck president is able to commute sentences. He is able to appoint federal judges or Supreme Court judges, whatever comes down his path. Executive orders, certainly. But I was just saying, but he can still operate. So now, if the people weren't so stubborn, in other words, the Congress didn't want. It was actually working for the people instead of for their individual parties. So then they would allow this lame duck who's going out to do the job and not to hold the country up for 6 months? November, December, January, 3 months. Right, 3 months you're a lame duck. So 3 months, a lot can happen in 3 months.
Or it could be considered longer if it's the end of his second term.
Right, even better. Right
after the 2-year congressional election, going into his last 2 years,
he's already right. So that really, again, I know people will hate when I get involved in this, but when Obama was on his last leg out, and there was a Supreme Court justice that was necessary. It was totally uncalled for to say, let's wait till the next guy. No, we need to run the country. Get the right person in there, do what you need to do, and get the job done. Don't worry just because Obama was there, or now Clinton, Trump. I should think I remember this guy's name already. Okay, he's only the president. So, but really, stop looking at the guy, look at who we need to run the country. Stop trying to impede that. But that's what was going here. When he was saying, accompany, nah, I'm still the guy. I'm still the guy. And if people lose respect for me, then the kingdom falls apart. It was not going to be good for anybody. So that's really where he's coming from. Opposite the elders of my people. Now, the elders, the elders? Modern parlance, the cabinet.
Yeah.
Okay? The cabinet has to hold me as the king. But negative Israel, and if the cabinet holds me as king, and they're respecting me, so then the people are going to respect me. You can't afford to allow the kingdom to falter within 6 months. It doesn't look good. We have to have political entities here. Okay, I'm putting my own spin onto this, granted. But it's really, that's what he's saying. And that's what he says, Shuvi me, return with me, and I will worship before Hashem, your God. It's your God. Why is he your God, not my God? The simplest way to say that, by the way, is, even though nobody's talking about it, I see, but the simplest way to say it is, he used to be my God, but then I went against him. So right now, I no longer feel that I'm privileged to say my God. If you look at any of the Gedolim, that's, we always, once you feel, I'll for my part, okay. Whenever you look at the Gedolim, the Gedolim are always pushing it off. They're nullified to everything, right? So here, if he really he holds he sinned, admits he sinned against God. So in that case, he's no longer my God, which is why Hashem has ripped the kingdom away from me. So I can't claim he's my God anymore. Now he's your God. So I want to go to your God. And I'll ask for forgiveness. I'll ask what I have to do. But you still have to come with me. So what happens? Shmuel buys the argument. V'yashav Shmuel achar Shaul. So Shmuel returned after Shaul. V'yishtachavu Shaul Hashem. And Shaul, indeed, bowed down to Hashem. And there he prostrated himself before God. So what happens there? Okay, simple stuff. Nothing. No tricks here. Fine. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Next. Vayomer Shmuel. So Shmuel said, "Higishu Eli El Agag Melech Amalek." So bring to me Agag, the king of Amalek. Vayelech Elav, and they went to him. Okay, and they brought, and also went to him Agag Madanot. So Agag went to him. Madanot, they're saying, is delicately. He was. Rashi says, Mrs. David says, Madanot means that he was kasher b'shal tov. He was in chains. So I'm not sure why it's delicately, but okay. V'yomer Agag said, Achein sar mar hamavet. So Agag said, surely the bitterness of death has turned.
He's delicate and slow. When you walk slow, you're being delicate. So it's just another way of saying you're walking slowly. Oh, for delicate? Yeah.
I'm not sure. Could be. It could be that he was just tied and chains, and that's why he's walking slowly. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. It's let me see. According to Rashi, that's who R is. I'm guessing R is Rashi. Let me just make sure I'm quoting this. Yep, Rashi. He quotes Rashi as saying, he approached Shmuel with the pride of kings, or we may interpret this as meaning that he approached him joyfully, for he chose death to life. So Maharikra interprets the Targum as meaning that the delicate Agag, who had been pampered all his life, was approaching Shmuel, who was to inflict cruel tortures upon him. I don't know where it goes. Period. Others render Agag went to him tied in chains. Okay, and says, surely the bitterness of death has turned. Just keep going with this whole thing. And indeed, I know the bitterness of death has turned toward me, and it's approaching. So I don't know if okay, now and some people say, I'll go like that. DG, I know DG is wait. one day I'll know all these things, but without looking. Okay. Apparently, the Ralbag, I guess. Okay.
English agreement.
So Metzudas daven, right? Yeah, it's different Rashi Teva there. Okay, so the Ralbag explains in an opposite manner. Thus, when Agag saw Shmuel, he was impressed by certainly in kindly appearance. Therefore, he said, "Surely the business of death is turned away from me." Oh, for this man is incapable of taking a life. So, do you read it as a statement of Baruch Hashem, I'm going to get away with this, or as the time has come? Okay, say it again.
This guy couldn't hurt a fly.
Right. Well, he's about to find out. So, okay, so the Malbim says in this whole thing, they didn't quote the Malbim out of all this. So he says, Mitanot, that what does that mean? Shahalach besimcha v'tanug, that he went with joy and satisfaction. So Mars Rosh Limor Hare Ahine Sar Mimenu Tmor Tamavet. Oh, so she says he's turned away from me the bitterness of death. Ki ata natnu lo chaye habuz v'havdut Khalifa the Mavet. Until now, they would have given him a life of being despised and of servitude in exchange for the death. Zekashma obe'eneasarim, which would have been horrible in his eyes. Right? What's the worst thing for a king or a warrior? Imprisonment. Right? Give me death, not imprisonment. Imprisonment is for the weaklings. Or Avdus is the worst possible situation. Rather, let me die as a warrior. Okay, so he says, Kashu ma'od b'nei yotim in a mavet. That's worse than death. V'yatar Sarah Khalifon, because when you die in war, you're a hero. Right? That's how it works. When you die in war, you're a hero. When you get captured, you're not a hero anymore. When you're service, you're a servant. You're just a servant, which is apparently still a topic today, for discussion these days. And now this whole thing has been turned away. This whole exchange has been turned away. So therefore, he chooses here this bitterness. So he saw that this was going to change. So he said, fine. So he was happy on that he was going to die. Fine. Okay. V'yomer Shmuel kasher shichla nashim charbecha, as your sword has made women bereaved. Okay. Can tishkal menashim imecha. So also your mother will be bereaved amongst women. Notice you are prepared to die. Okay. B'shasef Shmuel. So Shmuel took the sword. Took the sword. And he's Agag v'lifnei Shem v'Gilgal, and so he cut up Agag into pieces. Okay, in Gilgal, it wasn't a simple death apparently. He starts hewing him up. Chadchul Dalit. Rashi says he cuts him into 4 pieces. V'en l'teva Dimion. Okay, so okay, fine. Well, 4 pieces. No, I'm not sure why 4, but and some the David says he chopped him to 2 pieces. Okay, whatever. He chopped him up. Say that.
When it gives a number, it's not described as to what division it would be, because 2 pieces could just be beheading, but it could also be cut in half.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
It's
just chopped it up. Yeah. Okay. So it's the Malbim says, when it says, just as you cause women to be bereaved, and you surely want this more than death, and surely it's fitting that you wouldn't die, so that will be worse for you. As is so, but I'm going to do this for you. Bavor imcha, I'm doing for your mom. I'm killing you for your mommy. There you go. Shahaya la mida connected, which is a mida connected mida. Tit for tat. Kamo. Shecharu chashich la nashim. just as your sword killed, made many women bereaved, that when you killed their sons that were captured with you, and their mothers became bereaved of this, so also your mother, your mother will be worse, will mourn more than these people. And that I killed her son, because she would want him to remain alive. Right? Everybody wants their son to remain alive, or the husband to remain alive, the children to remain alive, and you killed them. So I'm going to make it worse. Yeah, for you.
So it's, even though you want to die because you don't want to die a prisoner, this is not for a punishment. It's not for a pain against you. This is for a pain against your mother.
Because it's mida connected mida.
Right,
because for that, we don't care what you want anymore. Now it's you made other women do this. Your mom wants you back. You want death. Well, you're going to get what you want, but it's going to be worse for your mom, and that's where he brings in the mom. See that? How wonderful. What does he say? Does he say? So here, according to Gersony, Ralbag, and Abarvanel, so he says, what Shmuel was saying is, not as you think that I will not slay you, but as your sword. So he thinks, remember the first one was saying, you wouldn't get killed because of an old man. And as your sword bereaved women by slaying their husbands and sons. So Rashi explains, as your sword bereaved women to render them veritable widows for their husbands, for you would cut off the membrum virile of the youths of Israel. So Rashi refers to Devarim, explaining that as a euphemism. They take off the tail. This is to show contempt for the rite of circumcision, which distinguished the Jews from the other nations by sealing the sign of the covenant in the flesh. According to these midrashim, Agag was killed for the sins of his ancestors, in whose path he probably trod. And so he cut him into 4 pieces. This is the Rashi, right? Rashi did 4 pieces. The Targum renders Uvasha and Agamora. We find he broke a branch and gave us several sticks, meaning that he was split. That he split. So then Rashi draws from the fact that he cut into 4 pieces. According to another opinion, the Midrash Pesachim Rabbah, Shmuel cut his flesh into all of his size pieces and fed them to the ostriches. It may be revolting and alarming to the reader to learn that one of Israel's greatest prophets should inflict such a cruel death upon an enemy of his people, but one must realize that Agag represented the arch enemy of the Jews, the nation, which symbolized cowardice and cruelty. Amalek was the first nation to attack the recently emancipated slaves upon their departure from Egypt. He did so without provocation. He showed unspeakable cruelty, as aforementioned in this verse. He attacked at a time when all other nations were overawed by the miracle of the cleaving of the Red Sea and stood at a respectable distance from Israel. Amalek was actually representative of Satan on earth. Oh, we really get into this. Okay. Agag himself was the one who sowed the seeds which gave rise to Haman, who was the very personification of evil. To such a person, no mercy ought to be shown. The greatness of Shmuel is illustrated there, that he was able to control himself and stifle his kind and merciful feelings when the occasion called for such measures. So that's the way to turn it around. Okay, yes?
He said he fed the
ostriches. You're going to tell me ostriches don't eat flesh, right?
No. I'm just confused as to why not. Usually the analogy is not analogy. Usually the thing is to the dogs or to the vultures or to the lions, some sort of beast, but a bird. Because ostriches, I think most birds do are capable of eating flesh, except like the little ones, like chickens.
Right.
It's like they can eat flesh. So I'm not saying that they can't, but why ostriches? Why is that a bird that's mentioned? Why not?
So if I wanted to guess at this, which is what I'm basically doing, what does an ostrich do?
It hides its head in the sand.
Hides its head in the sand, right? Doesn't want to see anything. So you could say that that's why he was doing it. Everybody wants to hide their head in the sand when bad things are happening instead of taking care of it. I could give that sort of a midrash that goes with it. In other words, remember, there's an argument. What did he do? Is he cut into 4 pieces? Did he cut himself into 2 pieces? Did he cut him into little pieces? So, and start serving him out to the ostriches. And if so, why such a horrible death? Blah, 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 blah. So you really have those. Bottom line is he kills him.
Right.
Okay, so let's understand. He killed him. Why did he kill him? Simple thing is because he's the enemy and God said to kill him. Let's understand that. It's not a matter of revenge here. Shmuel would not have done anything that God didn't tell him to do. So Shmuel is, and we're all commanded, by the way, to wipe out Amalek. Each Jew is commanded to do it. Now, Baruch Hashem, we don't know who Amalek is, which is why Amalek can run around. He can be our neighbor. It doesn't affect us today. But if somebody once said, but if you knew it was Amalek's descendant, what would you do? So, be chayav. It's like anything else. If the temple would be built today, and we could bring karbanos, we would be obligated, regardless of what our sensitivities are, to bring the animal. Or whatever gift offering you have to bring, the flower offering, whatever it is, we'd have to bring it. As a matter of fact, if Eretz Yisrael was Eretz Yisrael, and the temple was there, we could not be here for Pesach. Think about that. We'd have to get on the plane, shoot over there, because that's really where we should be. We'd have to give our kabbanis, and that's the end of it. Right? Shalosh Shagalim, we have to go. Leave the women here. Fine. Bring the women for whatever. You want to go for your trip with your wife, because it's tight. You don't. But, they're not obligated. They can stay here with the kids. But you, as an adult, are obligated to go. Every 7 years, when it comes at the end of Shemitah, we'd all be responsible to go to Older Regel. When it comes to hear the president read, or the Nasi, read the Sefer Devarim to us in a public arena. Now, today it wouldn't be that hard, because you could get into the... Today I wonder what they would do if they would get, what's it called? They used to call it closed circuit. But now you have internet and so on and so forth. It'd be interesting if we would put it on that sort of system. FaceTime, okay, FaceTime.
It'd be like the World War
Madison Square Gardens.
All the World War II speeches where everybody would tune into the radio.
Video conference.
No, yeah, video conference. But the point is, I'm saying, if you were in Israel, since today it would not be hard to make yourself heard. You could hear it all over the place. So, but that would be, think about that. If the temple would be built, we would be responsible to be there. Okay, if we were living in Israel and everything was proper, it comes to Shemitah, comes to Yovel, comes to all these things, we are 100% responsible. That's why when people go to Eretz Yisrael today, even today, they're heading Baruch Hashem. I mean, we should all have such problems, but they have to deal with Truma, with Maasrot, and everything else. They have to. It's what we have to do, because we're living in that land. When I'm sitting out here, I don't have to worry about it that much. Okay, which is why there's a whole shaila, there's a whole question: can I eat products that grew on the ground? In other words, so I have to worry about chadash in this country, the wheat that grew up after what's it called? Pesach. After Pesach, second day Pesach. So do I have to? That is new wheat. I can't eat it until the next year, so I have to wait. But in this country, many people are outside of Israel. People argue that it's not. It's only D'Rabbanan that we even do that, if anything. So most people don't hold by Chadash. That's what we call it, Chadash. It's new stuff. That's what we don't all hold by that. Now, in this country, it's really easy also because we have such a surplus of food that we put away. The odds of us having the new stuff is very rare in reality. Okay, but still, you should know. So there are certain books that tell you when gold medal flour. They have records for gold medal flour. So you can know, if you want to hold by that, you have to know. You have to see the code on gold medal flour and to know what would be there. And they can tell you what the age would be. Fine. So there's ways to maintain that, but you understand what I'm saying? So here, when it comes to Shmuel, he's certainly just following the halacha to say we have to kill him. The question is, okay, so you said you have to kill him. Does that mean I have to slaughter the guy? Do I have to cut him to pieces and give it away? That's a different thing. What happened there? And the answer is yes. Okay, fine. So what happens next? So Vayelech Shmuel Ramata. So now Shmuel goes back to Ramah, and again from grammar, you look at the Haramata, right? So the ta, the end, the comes hey is the toward that place. So Ramah is the name of the place.
Yeah.
So Haramata, toward Ramah. So he went to Ramah. Shaul ala Aveto, and Shaul went to his house in Givat Shaul. Okay, so they went home. Very nice. Okay. V'lo yasaf Shmuel l'rod et Shaul al yomoto. So and Shmuel never came no more to see Shaul until the day of his death. Ki hitabel Shmuel el Shaul. Rather, Shmuel mourned about Shaul. Hashem nicham, and Hashem was Hashem had changed his mind. Ki himlich et Shaul al Yisrael, that he caused Shaul to reign over Israel. Okay. So now what happens here? So it's okay. That's so Malvin doesn't have anything to add to that. Okay, Ari Cross. No, did that. Sorry. Mitzu's daven. That's what it was. Hit Abel. He mourned over him. Kirosh mourned. The fisha sha'am shayim mit Abel al Shaul. Since the nation would be mourning over Shaul al Kol Zeh, Nicham Hashem, that's when Hashem was comforted, or again changed his mind. V'lo chash al Avelato Lezeh, and it's Ma'od, V'lo ba'od Fnei Shaul, so that again he doesn't come before Shaul, but Shaul comes before Shmuel. So it would be that Shmuel never would go to Shaul, but Shmuel would come. Shmuel would never come to Shaul, but Shaul would come to Shmuel. Okay, that's just, in other words, because when you read the story, you're going to see that Shmuel does come. That there is more interaction between the two of them. So if that's the case, how could be interaction when he's saying he doesn't come? Because he's saying, so the Mitzvah was saying he never came, but it doesn't mean the other way around. Okay, so now let's go on. We're on chapter 16 now. Okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Shmuel dies before Shaul does, right?
Shmuel dies before Shaul, yes.
Okay, so I was thinking when it says until the day of his death, it's not his Shaul's death, it's his Shmuel's death.
Correct.
Okay.
Shmuel's death, yes.
Because also Shaul.
Now, Shmuel would no longer go to him.
Right.
In other words, it would only be befitting for the prophet to go to the king.
Right.
And yet, now he doesn't, because he was mourning on his, because Hashem decided he didn't want Shaul to reign, so that's it. So he doesn't want to come before him. But like I said, it doesn't mean that they never see each other again.
Right.
Okay. So now it says, "Vayomer Hashem el Shmuel." So Hashem said to Shmuel, "Ad matai atamit Abel el Shaul? Until when will you mourn over Shaul? V'anim astiv, I have rejected him, Mimloch al Yisrael, from reigning on Israel, Malei karnacha shemen. So fill your horn with oil, V'leich, and go, or he's saying, and come, it's more better, and go. V'yeshalachacha el Yishai ben Halachmi, and I'm going to send you to Yishai, the Bethlehemite, because I have seen in his sons a king for me. Okay. So Malbim says, "Oh, how long are you going to mourn? Yomar ba'avelut matmidiyah. This is continual mourning. O bavor godel ma'ala hadavar hanebad asma. Or is it because of the greatness of something that was lost from himself? Although it's not, in other words, you understand, was this going to be a continual, was this a continual mourning, or is it because of the greatness that was lost? Why are you mourning? How long are you going to do this? Okay, so then he says, I've rejected him from being the king, or from ruling over Israel. So there's no importance here. Or is it because that there was nothing found in exchange? In other words, why are you mourning? I want to know why are you crying? I'm God. I decided he's no longer going to be king. So why are you going crazy? Is it because of again? This is because of you think there's he was important. He's not important. And if you think that there's nobody to replace him, guess what? I have a new candidate for you. So he says, Amra Malay Karnaka, so fill your horn with oil. Kiriti Banav Li Melech, because you're going to send it to Yishai's house. There's a son there that I want to be king. And he says, fill your horn, that is a nickname, as it were. Because originally Shaul was anointed with a little vessel, a little vessel of oil, pach shemen. It's yeah, I don't know how to say it else. Like they had for the
An ounce cup?
no. I'm saying pach shemen. It would be like what they had for the menorah.
Like a what?
Like they had for the menorah, pach shemen, a bottle, I guess you call it.
A cup?
No, it wasn't a cup. It was a pach. It was a bottle as compared to a keren, a horn.
Oh.
It's two different things. Okay. So the chen lo limshav malchuto, and why did he do it with the pach? So because his kingdom will not last forever. Kisiba bechirato hayam bnei ratzon Hashem, because the reason that he was chosen was because that's what the nation wanted. V'alkein bachar ish gavoa kol ma shenivsa bo chen b'nei ha'am. So that's why he was chosen. Let me just finish this. Because he was a tall guy, and he found favor in the eyes of the people. Aval David nimshach b'keren u'mishemen ha'mekodesh. But when it came to David, he's anointed with the horn and the holy oil. Ki az ba'ha'et shimloch melech yoshev al kisei Hashem rutzel Hashem. Because now the time had come for a king to sit on the throne of Hashem, and to be desirous before Hashem. Lo'am rutzel la'am vilvad, and not just desirous to the nation itself. And that's why it says, fulfill your horn, which was special for you, to anoint the kingdom forever, that was going to be established. Shalav Ramza Chana B'Tefillah, and that is what Chana hinted to in her tefillah, when she says Rama Karni v'lo Rama Pachi, when she says lift up my horn, and she didn't say lift up my pach. Kedivra Chachmenu Zichron Levracha, as our rabbis explained. Amar, and because he said, and let me just finish, and then you can ask. It's just a little more, and that's what he says. Lech Ashalechacha, go and I will send you. Lo Kamosh Eitzel Shaul. It's not like what we said with Shaul Shesava V'hu Yavo Eitzel Hanavi, that the Navi would have to come to the Navi. Rather, you're going to go to this new person, B'shlichot Hashem, as a servant of Hashem. And that's why it says, Kivriti b'banav li melech hamyuchali. And that's why it says that I saw amongst his sons a king that was special for me. Lola amechad. And again, not to the nation itself, like it says in Sifrei Kol Makom Shenem Rali Kayam. Whenever it says for me, that's when it's Kayam Le'olam. It's always going to be the. Yeah, your question is.
So I forget what the Hebrew section in Amida is, but it's a part about
Amida. Amida. Okay.
When it says raise the horn of David, this is
yeah.
To this
Yes.
Okay. I always thought it was the horn as in like the analogy, like earthly might.
Oh.
When they raise their heads, they're getting ready for battle. They get clashed down.
All right, I hear what you're saying.
Give me a ring.
Could be both, by the way. Could be referring to both. In other words, the horn is saying, what the Malbim explains is that the horn is symbolic of an everlasting kingdom. So it could, again, that could be where it's coming from. Also, a horn is many times used as might of the kingdom. It's also used as a call to arms.
Right.
So you have all those things going together.
The actual horn, like a shofar, you mean?
Yeah. Well, if you just had an actual horn, the oil's going to go right through.
Well,
The oil will go right through.
so it's yeah. So
Had to be some other type of horn. It had to be some other type of horn that would carry the.
what about like they use the same word?
By the way, this is we were talking about before. This would be a great time to use higher criticism to find out what exactly that horn looked like compared to the pach. That would be if I could find historically.
What about was it the Cardinals Hamazbeach?
Right, again, that was, by the way, the Karnei HaMizbeach was square. It's called the horns, right, but they were square. So again, all these different, I'll get to you in 2 seconds, Sean. Okay, all of these things would be great if you could find archaeological evidence as to what they were, because then all this stuff falls apart, right? And then we can know exactly what we're talking about instead of theorizing and seeing in our minds what these things look like. That's my only point. That's when higher criticism works for you as compared to if I have an agenda. Right. If I want to know. I want to understand something.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking to change the storyline. I just want to understand what they were using. So that's what I'm saying. That would be a higher criticism. Yeah.
Could it be a normal horn, just to like a stopper at the end?
Could be. Again, it could be.
Like in Hebrew, like a word is used. It can be a descriptor of more than one thing.
Correct. All those things are true. Okay. So we'll have to stop here.
That's interesting.
But that's what I said. There's something good to higher and lower criticism, and that's why people fell into the traps of these things. Because on one level we could use it tremendously. On the other level, if I'm using it for the wrong reason, it goes way off kilter. Yeah.
We had to.
I just remember this. I just wanted to quickly